Hey guys, welcome to another case study, and this one is a special one. It's with one of my students, Franklin, who did $10,000 USD last month in commission. And before we get started, Franklin, dude, can you confirm how much money did you make last month, lad?
Bro, 10,000 and something, couple hundred.
Gotta have the couple hundred. No, it's sick, man.
Yeah.
And in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn more about your journey and your journey in high ticket sales specifically, and really show you guys that literally anyone can do it, and how making 10K a month can dramatically change your life, and the impact that it has for you, the freedom that it gives for you, and really walk you through like what you did to get there as fast as you did within a couple of months. And it doesn't matter where you are in life right now, whether you're like just starting off in high ticket sales or you're already at 10K a month, 20K a month, this video is still going to be valuable because Franklin's going to really share the tips and tricks that he did to get to 10K a month as fast as possible. So, I guess a good place to start would be, let's go before sales, before online money, before all this stuff, bro. Where was
Yeah.
Franklin before the online space? Like, what did he actually look like, lad?
I mean, yeah, it was hectic because I've done a lot of different jobs, before the online space. I've been, I've done stuff like hotel animation, if you know what that is. It's basically like you go to all-inclusive resorts and you get people fired up for like volleyball games and then you host those games. I've done that. I've been in construction, where I was literally building out roads, waking up 5 a.m., getting to job site 6 a.m., shoveling asphalt until like 7 p.m. and taking a bus back. So I've done that. I've done also customer service before as well. That's actually the first job that I got into. So I've done a bunch of different things before this. So yeah, man, it's been interesting to say the least.
Very interesting. I guess like some
Yeah.
people might be in the same situation as you, bro, where they're going from job to job or they've worked so many industries in their life. I guess what were the
Yeah.
main challenges I guess you faced when you were going from job to job and working all these like odd jobs here and there? What were the main like frustrations you kind of faced there?
Biggest one, first one that comes to mind is just it's just money and it's just, being tied down to a job and that's it. It's just like a repetitive cycle. You do the same thing, you bust your ass and you make, nothing for it. You're literally surviving, right? Because when I was in Greece, when I was doing hotel animation, you're not going to believe this, but I was actually making 550 euros a month, working 6 days a week for 12 hours. And I'm not even joking. Like it's insanely low, but I just went there because I wanted to get out of Estonia, which is where I'm from originally. So, and travel, which is why I got into high ticket in the first place. But yeah, just jumping back, man, it was just mainly the money. That's like the biggest frustration, challenge, not being able to do the things that you want to do and just being tied down to like one location.
I get you, bro. I get you. And I always thought it was really cool that you were from like a small town in Europe or a place that isn't as well known, and you've kind of made your way to
Yeah.
where you are right now. And we'll definitely get into that. I guess making 500 euros a month, dude, and working, 12 hours a day and working physically, trading your time for money. What did your life look like at that point? I mean, you said you couldn't do the things that you wanted to do. Like, what did that actually look like on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, so when I was in Greece making that like 500 quid a month, it was literally I was just waking up very early in the morning and then we get to the hotel, we say we do a bit of guest relation, we do a bit of chit chat, all of these things, and then we start, getting people to like, the games. So like I would host ping pong games, beach volleyball games. I was doing aqua fitness, all of these things, and it was like from morning to afternoon to evening. Evening, we would host shows and all of these things, and then we got to clean everything up and all of that stuff. So I get done at like maybe 10, 11 p.m. and then wake up and do the exact same thing. So that was 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, and yeah, we had one day off, which was Sunday, and it's cool. Like I was happy in the sense that I was in Greece, but still, it's like, what are you gonna do with 500 euros a month? Like, let's think about it. Not much.
Yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense with where you're coming from,
Yeah.
and I think like some of you like that are watching this, and maybe even a lot of you can relate to this, which is like Not even just living paycheck to paycheck, but the fact that you have no time for anything else, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, waking up early and finishing late.
Yeah.
And so walk me through it. When last month, you start off with $500 a month, and then last month you did 10,000 in a month. What was going through your head, bro, when you actually hit it at that time?
Well, going from like 500 to 10K is quite a big jump. And yeah, it feels, to be honest, just being fully transparent, it was like, all right, cool, we did it. But then, all right, how can I make 15? How can I make 20? What do I need to do? It's just like there's no end to it. But I think that's a good thing, right? Because I'm always looking for a new challenge, right? And I think it's important. But actually hitting that milestone, because everyone talks about it, you know, in the online space, oh, 10K, 10K, all of these things, but actually making it, no, it's good. It's good for sure. But there's a huge mountain to climb still, you know?
Of course, of course. And it's only up from here, bro. And you're going to be hitting those 20, 30, 40K months, which again, we'll maybe do a catch up like a couple months from now, maybe towards the end of the year when you're hitting those milestones. Um,
For sure.
it'll be really cool to like see your journey there. I guess like the reason I ask is a lot of people watching would want to know like how it feels because they haven't hit 10K a month. I guess
Hmm.
what did that number kind of open up for you? Even like financially, freedom, travel, like what actually changed for you at 10K a month that you couldn't do at like 500 a month? Because there was quite a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of, well, right now I'm in Colombia, Medellin,
Way.
right? So it just opens the door for everything. Obviously, remote sales, high ticket sales, it's all you need is like a Wi-Fi connection and a computer. Of course, a skill set comes into play as well. But just making 10 grand, you can pretty much live anywhere if you really wanted to. Like it just opens up pretty much the whole, or at least 95% of the world for you, you know? So it's kind of like the world's your oyster at that point. And yeah, it's a good sense of like freedom at the same time, you know? Um, I never imagined myself at this age being in Colombia, Medellin, closing deals and, pulling 10 grand months. So that's yeah, it's an amazing feeling, to say the least.
Yeah, dude. And it's like traveling to all these countries, just picking up your laptop and going on to the next. That's some people's dream
Mhm.
life. And I mean, we used to pray for times like this when we're doing 500 euros a
Yeah.
month, trading our time for money. I guess like, how does it feel when you can just like move? So, for example, where were you before this? And even before that, you've been traveling a lot, bro. Like, walk us through how it felt to
Yeah.
just pick up your laptop and go, yo, I'm going Colombia now.
So, I mean, I got into high ticket last year, right? And I started off setting, and in terms of setting, I was kind of making okay money. It's like good money for like Thailand, right? So I was like making four, five-ish, and then I just went to Thailand, and just being able to do that was freaking amazing. I was so buzzed up, man. And then I've been to Thailand, I've been to Vietnam, I've been to recently I was in Georgia, Batumi, which is a beautiful country as well. And yeah, just randomly actually I just decided to come to Colombia um just because the time zone. It was just doing my head in with Batumi. I was working literally all through the night. In Georgia, the time zone was messed up. In Thailand and Vietnam as well. So I was like, you know what? Why stay here? I could be so much more productive in a normal time zone. So hell yeah, I'll come to Medellin, Colombia, and there's a lot of closers here as well. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That makes a lot of sense, bro. And you talk about like where you want to go next and how 10K a month is just like your first milestone before you go to the next one. I guess now that you've hit
Hmm.
10K a month, bro, where do you see yourself going next in terms of traveling, in terms of freedom, in terms of money? Like, where do you see yourself going in like the next 6 to 12 months?
In terms of traveling, I'm gonna stay in Latin America for sure, South America, Central America as well, just because the time zone I think is the best.
Yeah.
So I definitely plan to explore South America quite a bit. So I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Um, Financially, of course, we got to get that 15, we got to get that 20 and just go from there, right? We just got to keep building. And in terms of closing, like my goal is just to become excellent and literally just become an absolute animal um, with closing, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing to note there is when you say like you want to be excellent, it's a very rare quality to have because when I look at this space and I look at high ticket sales, online money, everyone's chasing quick
Yeah.
money. Get 10K fast as possible, get to 20K as fast as possible. But something that I noticed coaching
Yeah.
you, bro, and something that I really emphasize with all my students is prioritize your skill sets over the money that you make.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, your skill set's gonna actually make you wealthy and it will last long term. Because quick money always comes down, right? Like, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that? Prioritizing skill sets over money because you've actually done that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, without the skill set, really, I mean, the skill set's what's going to make you the money at the end of the day, right? If you don't have the skill set, then that's the one thing that I focused on is just the skill set. Because once you have a skill set, you know, such as closing sales, you got that skill set nailed down. You don't have to worry about, a job or 9 to 5 or like money ever again. So if you become excellent in this space, prioritizing skill set, I mean, you're just going to be heaps ahead of like everyone else, right? And that's what I've seen with, other closers that I've spoken to and yourself as well, right? So it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, no, that makes
Yeah.
sense, man. And so it makes sense where you want to go, and you're at 10K a month. Let's go back to when you were pretty much trading your time for money at like your lowest. I guess what was that moment that made you feel like I need to change and I need to get into high ticket sales? Like, do you kind of remember like what that moment felt like where I'm going to not do the 9 to 5? I need to get into online money. I need to get into online sales. Like, what actually made you change and take that like leap of faith?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Um, so basically, I was working in Spain, Canary Islands doing the hotel animation stuff, and I just left that because again, it was just pay was bad. I thought I'd just come back to Estonia, which I did, and just try something else. But I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to see the world. Like you got one life, right? And the world's huge. So I always wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. So I moved back in with my mum. That was early last year. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? Right? And I was like, I don't want to go back to some, I don't know, job 9 to 5, do that whole thing again. I've done it enough. And then I just stumbled upon, high ticket sales just randomly through TikTok actually. And I was like, oh, what's this? Sales? All right, I could do sales. And then I just got into a rabbit hole. And then yeah, just from there it just it didn't take off, but I just went all in on it. I just went all in. And yeah, I didn't want to go back to 9 to 5. I think, it's cool for some people, but for me, man, I don't wanna be tied down to one location and, just trading time for money in that sense, right? No, building someone else's dream, not my own, right?
Oh, for
No,
sure.
thank you.
No, thank you is crazy, bro. Listening back to where we were, like not just even a couple months, like a year or so ago. So that makes a lot of sense. And I guess like
Mm,
your journey to 10K a month, bro. The reason I ask is when a lot of people go on these platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, there's a million different ways
hmm
to make money
Yeah.
online. E-com, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, trading, like you know it. It's all there. I guess what are your thoughts on high ticket sales and why did you choose that over the others? Yeah, why did you choose high ticket sales over the others?
Good question. And I've tried other things as well, like Forex trading, which I'm sure a lot of people who'd be watching this have probably tried that as well. But high ticket sales, well, first of all, if you're doing like e-com and stuff, you got to worry about marketing, running a business, running ads, all of these things, right? But with high ticket sales, it's like, first of all, you get the skill set nailed down. and then it's about getting a good offer. Those two things combined, that's gonna, and work ethic, of course, you need to have that work ethic. Those ingredients mixed in, that's a recipe for success, you know? You don't have to worry about all of these other things like management, operations, all of these things. You just come onto the call and close deals and make good commissions doing so while traveling the world. So I was like, hell yeah. So yeah.
No, it is sick. It is sick for sure. And I say this because like, I have my own consulting stuff and I'm a sales manager and own my own business and it's actually very overrated owning your own business. And you hear a lot of business owners say this. But what I see with a lot of young guys and girls in this space is everyone wants to like own their own business because it sounds cool, right? Like I own my own business, I run this, I run ads, I manage a team, and everyone has this dream of it, bro. And
Hmm.
I'm sure every like young hustler wants to do this. I guess how did you like avoid that dream and how did you like not go down that path? And do you see that issue as well, like with like young people of wanting to own their own business, um, but they don't really realize how much it actually takes to win?
Yeah. Um, in terms of like owning my own business, all of these things, yeah, I mean, I just knew it. It just, you got to focus on all of these different things, right? And it's not as easy. It's not like, a shiny object kind of syndrome. Like it's next best thing. Is business owners working with business owners nowadays as well. Like I see, the level of stress and the responsibility that they go through it, and to actually create like a successful business, you got to be a different animal on that sense. So don't get me wrong, I do want to create my own business in the future, but like for now, just focusing on closing deals without having to worry about like operations, all of these things. And sometimes you're even making more money than business owners with this, right? So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
very
mean,
true.
I hope that answers.
No, it does, bro. It's very true. And the reason I say it is I know I struggled with this, and like you said, you've tried certain things as well, like forex trading and things like that. Sometimes
Mhm.
people get into high ticket sales, or they look into certain things, and then they go on to the next, and they go on to the next. And like you just said, a very
Yeah,
common thing is like shiny object syndrome. I guess now
yeah.
that you're on those platforms, how did you overcome that shiny object syndrome, and how did you kind of like battle that? Because a lot of people struggle with this, bro, and I feel like it's a very big reason for why people don't hit 10K a month. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can make money through Forex, e-com, all of these things, but it's like you just got to pick one thing that, just suits you and like you want to do as well, and just go all in on that, right? If you're focusing on like 10 different things at the same time or just hop in, from one thing to another, you know, consistency is key, right? With anything, right? If if you're just hopping from one thing to another, that's not consistent, right? That's you just got to take one thing and just go all in on it, right? Simple as that.
Exactly. And some of the biggest people and names in the space, they say the exact same things, and humans really underestimate the power of compounding, bro. And the power of like sticking to one thing. Even you, bro. Like, for example, like you're at 10K a month now. If you keep at this intensity, it's gonna be a way quicker journey to that 20, 30K, 40K. I always say this to you, and I say this to all my students. 0 to 10K is the hardest part. Once you get there, if you keep up that intensity, that 20, 30, 40, 100K months, it just happens really, really fast because of all the
Mm,
effort that you put in before then, right?
hmm.
So that's why
Yeah,
I see you hitting those months really, really quickly.
yeah.
And
We're
so
gunning
cool.
for it, man.
100%. So cool. So I guess you started in high ticket sales, you went through the TikTok route. I guess walk us through when you found me and you joined like the DSA and you joined my mentorship. I guess what were your
Hmm.
first experiences, bro? What were like your first thoughts? And yeah, be brutally honest. Like, how did you feel when you joined the mentorship and that side of things? I'm sure a lot of people want to know your experience.
Yeah. So to be honest, man, like before you, I was already in high ticket sales as well, but I was on a like it wasn't the best offer out there, and it was like everyone's just kind of doing the same income wise, and there wasn't really I was just too comfortable in that fucking, excuse my French, but on that offer, right? So I was like, man, you know what? And this was in Vietnam as well. I remember I was like, I need to take this thing to the next level. I need to actually get proper guidance and actually take this thing to the next level because like the most successful people in the world, they all get coaches and mentors. And obviously, if you're, closing like selling a high ticket program and you talk the talk but don't walk the walk, then it's kind of like an incongruence there, right? So joining you was amazing, man. I like the sort of structure that we had in place. Okay, we need to do this, 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 and that, and it's just about execution from there, right? So I think I joined you what in May,
Yeah, May, I think.
May of this year. Yeah,
Start of May.
and the biggest thing for me, yeah, the biggest thing for me, man, was just like you helping me get to a good offer, right? That's really important for me because actually offer acquisition and but getting good offers is super key as well. It's like skill set and that combined are like super important, right? But other than that, man, like you've been solid. I wouldn't be here without you. Of course, like I work with a really solid business owner right now as well. And skill set wise, like Omar, he's a G, right? The business owner that I'm with right now, he's amazing. I'm learning a lot from both of you guys. So yeah, man, essentially, I don't know what else to say, man.
That makes a lot of sense, bro. And the reason I say it is your experience is actually like it's pretty cool because you tried to like wing high ticket sales on your own and you got some success and then you burnt out, got some success and then you got comfortable. And your experience is like a really good example of the importance of having a mentor, right? So I guess like before you joined me and when you were winging it on your own, what was the difference in the opportunities that you had like before you joined me?
Oh man. Oh bro, it was so like I started with TikTok, right? I saw this guy making money online doing these things. So I was like, all right, cool. How do I do this? So I just started like researching, Googling. So of course I went to Facebook, because everyone's telling me go to Facebook, go join these high ticket groups and you can find opportunities there. And yeah, I I went to Facebook groups and I saw this guy posted something. I applied, of course. And yeah, bro, I was making no money for like 3, 4 months when I started off
Let's just put
just
that
by
into
myself.
context, bro. Like making no money for 3, 4 months compared to like where you
Bro,
are now since you joined the program. I mean, how did that feel, lad? Like first 3, 4 months making $0.
bro, it's a journey to say the least, but it feels good. It's like, and I think it's good because like I didn't just give up. I knew that I could find a way to make this work, and
Yeah.
it's not like, all right, this is bad, this is not going to work, because obviously it works, right? There's people doing this, right? So I was like, I start with it, but it feels amazing, man, because yeah, it's been a journey. I could have got there a lot faster if I probably just started off with you, man. So you can learn from that mistake. But yeah,
That makes sense. And I think a key point you mentioned there is getting there as fast as possible because the reality is, and because I've taught students like, for example, Adrian, feel free to check him out on the YouTube. I just did an interview with him as well where he did 20,000 in commissions in a week, right?
crazy.
I mean, we'll get there too, but he basically winged it with high ticket sales for a solid year, making pretty much $0 or a couple grand a month maximum, and burning out and working so many hours, and at the end of the day he got to 0 to 20K in 3 months, right? And I see this with myself. And one of the best decisions that I ever made was investing into a mentor before I even started in high ticket sales because I never really tried to wing it on my own.
Yeah.
That's why I'd love to pick your
Yeah.
brain, bro. I guess when you were winging it before you invested in me, what was kind of holding you back from like investing into a mentor from the get go? Like you wish you started earlier. What do you feel like was holding you back? Was it like fear? Was it skepticism? Was it ego? Like what was it? If you're being brutally honest.
It's a good question. I wouldn't say it was necessarily fear or skepticism. I think it was mainly sort of the ego thing. Just thinking that, I could do it. I could do it. I think that was the biggest thing, man. Just
Yeah.
that
Why do
ego.
you think that
But
is?
why do I think it is the ego
Yeah.
that stopped me from actually? I don't know, man. It's a good question. I really had to think about it, man. It's just, yeah, it's hard to pinpoint, but it's just like I felt. like, okay, it's just part of the journey. I can do this. I can do this. Like, of course, you know, getting a mentor as well, it's is key. But at the same time, I was like, I could just do this on my own. Like, I'll get a mentor later. Like, if I really need it, I'll just stick to this, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can make it work, you know? But I literally wasted like a year, essentially, you know, because if I started off with you, for example, at the start, then who knows where I'd be right now, right? So that's kind of the main thing there. I don't know if that answers your
No, that
question,
that
but
definitely answers it. You know
I was trying
why?
to dig
Because
deep.
you know why, bro? Because a lot of people watching this, they'd be like the old Franklin, bro. And the reason I say it is you've changed completely over the last couple months working with me, not just from money perspective, but as a person.
Mm,
You've changed a lot, and I've seen this myself coaching you. However, before
mm,
this, a lot of people watching this might feel the same thing that you said is I'll get a mentor when I need it. Let me just give it a shot first. Let me wing it,
mm.
and just like throw a stab in the dark. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll get a mentor.
Yeah,
I think that's a very
yeah.
like flawed way of thinking to go about life. And I say this because myself, I've invested over 50 grand into mentorships, not just in sales, but in other areas of life. And the first thing that I always think is if I have a problem that I need to solve, I'm going to go to someone that's already done it and ask for their advice and invest in their mentorship because they've already walked the path that I want to walk on. Right? That's not just me,
Mm,
that's like nearly every successful person in this space,
yeah.
is what I realize.
Facts. Facts.
And a key thing that you mentioned that held you back is ego. And I think that is
Hmm.
like the biggest thing, especially with younger guys, that holds them back from success at the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You got to put the ego to the side. And yeah, like no one says, okay, let me do this the hard way. Like the most successful people say, okay, how's the easiest way that I can get to my destination, right? And you know, I don't know what I was thinking, man. It's just yeah,
It's
yeah,
true, bro.
get a mentor, guys. Don't be stupid, don't waste time, man, because time's one thing that you can't get back.
Yeah, well said, pretty much. And I know you mentioned like you don't know what you were thinking, but I'd really love to know because a lot of people will be struggling with ego, bro. Let's like talk to the young Franklin like a year ago who had this ego. How did you actually overcome it? That like getting over that ego yourself, like you said. How did you actually practically get over it?
Um, it was just my results. Like I had to look at myself and say, "Oh, okay, I've been doing this for a year, and I've been, you know, 3, 4 months when I started off, I made no money, right? And then, okay, I got onto an offer where it's like comfortable. It's okay. Like you make good money to live in like Thailand, for example, like 4, 5, something, right? And I was like, am I really happy with that? Right? I got too comfortable. I was like, do I really? Because you know, my goals are actually a lot bigger than that. You know, if I wanted to, you know, retire my mum, um, be able to live in nice locations and all of these things, not have to worry about money because you know you're not going to do that on 4 to 5 grand a month, right?
Yeah.
So I had to look at myself, look at my results, and say, hey, like, what are we doing here? You know, it's just the same kind of results, and if I want to get to the next level, well, I need to actually get help, right? I need to do that, right? It's just putting the ego to the side and yeah, just diving in.
Yeah, bro. 100%. And you know the reason why I ask is like you're in this industry as well, and you go through these platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, where there's so many ways to make money online, not just high ticket sales, but specifically with high
Mm,
ticket sales, when you see people in the comment section saying things like, "Yo, like I don't need a mentor," or "scam," or grifter, whatever it is. There's so many like there's such like a bad connotation now with investing into mentorship these days, and which is why the
hmm.
reason why most people stay broke, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you have, like, what advice do you have to someone that's listening to this, but is like still kind of on the fence, where they're like, oh, I don't really know. I'm a little scared. I don't want to invest into a mentorship because I might lose all my money, and they just have a lot of fear within them. Like, what would you say to someone like that?
Well, I mean, you got to dive in, right? What's gonna be riskier, or what's gonna be scarier? just staying stuck, just doing the same old thing that you've been doing, or actually taking a leap and opening up a world of, you know, opportunities for you that you probably never thought existed, right? But it's facts. Like I'm living proof. So you just gotta bite the bullet, man. And you got one life. Like, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? What's the worst case scenario? You tried, didn't work out. Okay, you learned. At least you've done something, right? Some people just don't do anything. They stay stuck. They have that fear, they have skepticism, all of these things, and they just stay stuck. They don't do anything with that. It's what you do with that. Like, of course, there's always going to be fear. There's always going to be a level of skepticism, all of these things. But, if you have big goals in mind and you want to get to places and actually live this kind of lifestyle, then what would that version of you do? Would he take a risk or would he just stay stuck? It's the question that you got to ask yourself. So that's my advice. You got nothing to lose. You got one life. Make the most of it. Right? Simple as that.
Yeah, you got one life is you said that multiple times, bro, and I think it's a great principle to live by because at the end of the day, we literally
Yeah.
do have one life, and you want to see the world, you want to retire your family, you want to spend as much time with your family, you want to improve your health, you want to better your life, you want the nice things in life. Like,
Mm.
you only get one shot, and at the end of the day, perfectly said. What is actually riskier? I always say this, and I know it's so corny, but looking back, of course I was scared. Of course I was nervous. But I was 18 when I invested in my first mentorship. It doesn't matter if you're 18, even if you're 25, even if you're 30. The worst case
Yeah.
scenario that can happen is you go back to the situation you were already in.
Yeah.
Like, literally, what is the worst that can happen? You go back to your job? You go back to your 9 to 5? Are you really going to
Yeah.
think another 10, 20 years from now when you're stuck in the same spot? Are you going to think about that one time that I took a bet on myself and you took a bet on yourself? Probably not, right? And
No.
that's what was going through my head at the time. But on the flip side, it's like this one decision can change the rest of your life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely. For
yeah,
sure.
I
I
totally agree
mean,
with that. You go?
absolutely, man. Yeah. Like, literally, you said it perfectly, man. Like, what's the worst case scenario? Just think about it. You just go back to what you're doing. I think that's so true. Um, and especially if you're like 18, 19, 20, 21, like early 20s, bro, I swear, like, this is the time that, you take risks because you don't have, most likely, most people that are watching this, right, maybe don't have kids, they don't have like a wife, all of these things, right? Um, Probably single, all of these things, right? So this is time to take risks, try things, and actually, you know, um, set yourself up, right? So, or do nothing and stay stuck. That's fine as well.
Yeah, it's fine as well. Like I said, and I think you would agree as well. And I think you've realized this because you're in the space itself. Online business isn't for everyone, bro. Like, online money and like making money online, self development, starting a business itself, it's not for everyone because you have to be at a certain level of self development and you have to have no ego and have this student mentality to actually win, which is very hard for a lot of people to overcome,
Yeah.
which is why it just isn't a common thing. And I think you mentioned something cool there. Like, most people are young in this space. Most people don't have kids. They don't have any liabilities. I guess
Mhm.
how is like the people that you've surrounded yourself with changed, bro, over the last like year, over the last couple months? Now that you're doing 10K a month, you've traveled to these countries, you've been part of DSA, the community itself. Like, how is the people that you surrounded yourself with changed?
I mean, it's amazing because like I'm from Estonia, right? So it's a very small country, right? A very small country in Eastern Europe. Um, and a lot of I don't know many Estonian. I think I'm the only Estonian closer out there. If you're an Estonian, hit me up. But um, a lot of the people have like very closed off mentalities. They stay stuck. They just most of them, it's the regular sort of cycle, right? 9 to 5, and then party on the weekends, which I was actually stuck in as well. But now, I'm surrounded by people that want to win, you know. And I actually met today business owner that I'm working with, Omar. Solid dude. That guy is like a millionaire, right? And just picking his brain and just like it's amazing. And I'm right now with two. I'm sharing a Airbnb with two of my mates, the closers as well. And like we're all on that kind of same energy, and I think that's so important being surrounded with people that are kind of on the same mission as you, because it's a way to really fast track your progress, right? I mean, it's a corny saying, but it's true, right? You are the average of the five that you spend the most time with. So, um, yeah, meeting a lot of new people, a lot of like hungry people, successful people, um, and that energy is just it's super important, right? It's good.
Hell
It's
yeah.
good. Good
Hell yeah.
money energy.
100%. I'd love to dive into that because, first of all, we'll get into meeting Omar and meeting like a millionaire in a second. Because I remember when I met my first millionaire, who was also the business owner for the offer that I closed on, completely changed my whole perspective. Um,
Yeah,
let's go into living with other closers, man, and living with people and making money in the same Airbnb, in the same villa. Like, I always think that's so cool because I grew up in a very small
yeah.
city, bro. Perth is one of the most isolated cities in the entire world, and I feel like Estonia is very similar. It's a very small town. So, how does that feel? Like, competing, having that competition, like having that accountability with other closers. How does that feel, bro?
It's testosterone maxing, mate. That's what it is. No, it's good, bro. It's you need that, bro. Especially if you're, younger, being surrounded by other people that are on the same mission, you're competing, like it's needed. Because obviously, like if one of my mates is going off for a run, they're going to the gym or like they're working, and I'm not, I'm be like, what? I should be. I feel guilty. Like I feel like weird. Like, all right, you're going for a run, you're going gym. All right, I'm gonna do the same. All right, you're working, we're working. Cool, locked in, right? So being surrounded by, other people that are doing the same thing, everyone's like on the same mission. It's important. It's super key, and yeah,
For
it's
sure.
that's why I came here. Yeah, it's just level up, level up, level up. So yeah,
Yeah, and I'll share my story, not just to you, and I've told you this before, but also for people watching. I grew up in Australia, and I was also in a small city in Australia, like Perth, which is a very like closed-minded country and a closed-minded city. And the sad reality is most people have this thing called tall poppy syndrome, which is like very common in Australia. And I've explained this to Franklin before, but
yeah,
basically, like when people are doing something different, when people are going to the next level, everyone loves to cut people down when someone's doing something unique, so that they feel good about themselves.
yeah,
And Australia and a lot of other
yeah,
countries like that are very, very similar, and it just has this bad culture. And the reason why surrounding yourself with that is detrimental is because you become one of them, and you become one of those people.
mm,
And that is why surrounding yourself with killers is so important. So one of the things that I did as soon as I hit 40K a month is I went to Dubai with two or three other people that were also doing 30, 40K a month, living in a penthouse near the Burj, like going and having steaks every night, hitting $1,000 commission days. It was super sick. And the biggest thing that I learned from that was perception and being surrounded by people that genuinely want you to win, right? Not just people that are just faking it and all that, but having a brotherhood is very important. Like you said, it's like testosterone maxing.
sure.
It's a very masculine thing to do to work in tribes,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And yeah, get around the right people. I've talked to a lot of Australians. Of course, I've heard of the tall poppy syndrome. Um, so yeah, it's kind of the same dynamic in Estonia as well.
Yeah.
Literally, you see other people doing well. Everyone's kind of like, what is this? Who is this? Actually, I ran into a worker that, or sorry, a colleague that I used to work with at
No
like
way.
a 9 to 5, and she's like, she saw like all of my stories and what I'm doing and all of these things, and it's like, are you scamming people? I was like, yeah, yeah. So it's like, get around people that, have a winner's mindset, people that, want to make things happen, man. And
Yeah,
yeah,
bro. I mean,
super
honestly, like
key,
I don't even
super key.
like when someone says something like that, and it's a very good point that you brought up. Literally, bro, I just feel so sorry for a lot of people. I genuinely feel empathetic. And
Yeah,
before this, like when I was before 10K a month, making a couple grand a month, I definitely felt like a little bit of that insecurity and definitely like, oh, I'm on the right path. But now that I've gone through this self development and we're on a completely different playing field now, it's just feeling empathetic and sorry for people that just don't get the game at the end of the day,
yeah,
and look for every reason to
yeah,
hate. So that makes
yeah,
sense. Now let's go on to meeting Omar, bro. Meeting like someone who does, millions of dollars. I guess, What was your experience? What was your first impressions of meeting someone that makes that type of money? And what did you realize?
Oh, Omar, and working with him, he's a leader as well, right? So I think that's important, but he's also really, really good at sales. Like that guy closes at a very high level, so I have a lot of respect for him. And yeah, just meeting him, he's a regular guy. He's a regular dude, right? But his mentality is what stood out to me. Like that guy is hungry. He's making millions of dollars, sure, but he's working harder than like most broke people. You know, it's just the mentality. It's insane, right? He's so switched on, so focused, right? And that's what it takes, right, to actually get to that level. So that's the biggest thing that stood out to me. He's no different than you or I or anything. He's just very, very hard working and very like hungry, and he's out to win. So yeah,
That is like
it's a
very
good mindset.
That's scarily similar to my experience, man, when I met my first like someone that made like a lot of money. So I'll give you context. Um, one of the first opportunities I ever closed for the founder's name, his name was James, and honestly, shout out to James, bro. He's saved my life, and bless him. And he was from the same city as I was for once, and I actually like went to meet him because I was like high ticket closing for him. And I remember when I met him, he walked out wearing like a Zara t-shirt and like some like Zara pants or something. I was expecting some crazy drip, a Lambo to pull up. I don't know what was going through my head, and it's just a regular guy, just a normal guy, like literally like anyone else. If I saw him on the street, I wouldn't think twice that he makes millions of dollars a year. And what I
Yeah,
realized was the difference between all the people that win is that they all start off in sales or marketing. Like one of those things. They're really, really good at sales. They're really, really good at marketing, and that's why they're really successful business
mm,
owners. But above all of that, like you said, it's the mentality. Like they're just so switched
yeah,
on. They're really focused, and nothing else is in their way. It's just tunnel vision on what they want to build.
yeah,
And they don't let
yeah,
any hate get to them. They don't let anyone else tell them what to do. And they just kind of walk their own path. And of course, they've had a lot of mentors in their life.
yeah, for sure,
Those are the
for
main
sure,
things.
facts.
But
Yeah,
who would have thought, bro? Making £500 a month, teaching at hotels, swimming, stuff like that, all the way to meeting a millionaire,
yeah,
bro. Like, who would have thought at the end
yeah,
of the day?
yeah. It's good, but at the same time, it's like I feel, on step one of this huge, huge mountain, there's there's definitely so much more to do. I literally feel like an absolute newbie. So I'm looking forward to the journey ahead, man. Yeah,
That's your humbleness, bro. That's your student mentality, and that's the mentality you should have so you win. But 100%. 10K a month is just the beginning. It opens up so many things. It gets you out of survival mode. You can now travel wherever you want. You don't have to worry about spending money on food. But now the next level is getting to the point where, it's not just about the money, it's about building a legacy. It's about having purpose. And that's what that 20, 30, 40, 50K a month really does.
mm,
And so
absolutely.
just to wrap up, let's say there's someone that's watched this entire thing. Like they've listened to our whole conversation, listened to my journey, they listened to your journey, go from, a small town in Europe all the way in Colombia, living with other people, making money together, and they're still like on the fence. They're still like, yo, I really want to do this, but it's like, is it real? Is it true? Should I do it? In one or two sentences, bro, what do you have to say for someone like that? That's literally watched this entire thing and that's still listening right now. What would you say to them?
Again, I mean, what have you got to lose? You know, if you really want to do it, then just do it. You know, what do you actually have to lose, right? You don't want to be, and you never know, right? Life, you might walk outside tomorrow, get hit by a bus. You really don't know, right? So I think, you got one life, you want to make the most of it, right? So, man, just do it.
We'll leave it on that, honestly. Like, at the end of the day, just do it. And Franklin is a really good example of someone that's changed his life around in a couple of months, and you could be the same. And I hope you got some value out of this on his journey and his strengths and the struggles and wins that he's had throughout his journey. If you have any questions, feel free to message me as well. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.